There is a peculiar sensation that many people experience but rarely speak about, and it is this: the feeling that in every conversation you are not quite being yourself. You are playing a role, performing a part, presenting a version of yourself that is somehow not quite authentic, not quite real, not quite the truth of who you actually are. And this creates a strange kind of exhaustion, a subtle but persistent sense of inauthenticity, a feeling that you are always slightly removed from your own life, watching yourself perform, rather than actually being present. And the question naturally arises, why this constant sense of performance? Why this feeling of acting? What is it about human conversation, about social interaction, that seems to require this performance, rather than simple, direct, authentic meeting? The answer, I believe, lies in understanding what we are actually doing when we engage in conversation, and more fundamentally, in understanding what we take ourselves to be and how we have learned to present this self to others. From a very early age, you learn that there is a way you are supposed to be. Your parents had expectations, your teachers had expectations, society had expectations. And these expectations were communicated to you in countless subtle and not so subtle ways. You learned that certain behaviors were rewarded and others were punished. Certain expressions of yourself were met with approval, while others were met with disapproval or rejection. And gradually, through this process of conditioning, you learned to shape yourself, to modify yourself, to present a version of yourself that would be acceptable, that would gain approval, that would allow you to navigate the social world successfully. This is not conspiracy or deliberate manipulation. This is simply how human societies function. We are social animals, and we must learn to live together, to cooperate, to get along, and this requires some degree of conformity, some willingness to moderate our behavior, to consider how our actions affect others, to participate in the shared agreements and understandings that make social life possible. But what happens in this process is that you begin to lose touch with what you actually are beneath all this conditioning, beneath all these learned behaviors, beneath all these socially appropriate responses. You become so accustomed to presenting the acceptable version of yourself that you forget there is anything else. The performance becomes so habitual, so automatic, that you no longer even recognize it as a performance. You mistake the character you are playing for who you actually are. Until one day, perhaps through some experience, some reflection,